Welcome back to another Bunger video. We are building the Duramax motor and we're putting it in. So I'm gonna jump right into this. I have had some serious setbacks, but we are now finally making progress. Check it out. So you see I've got my connecting rod here. So what you'll see is there is an A there and a B there. And they are completely random. There's 4 and 4. These lovely rods have matching tangs. So both bearings can only go in one certain way. Now, between the two, there's 2 different part numbers. So I've got green and I've got yellow bearings. Green bearings go on A's, yellow bearings go on B's. It is really dumb. Like, this is actually, like, ridiculous. But we are tightening them. We are checking our bearing tolerances, and we are now underway. I got a whole set of clevites for the engine, and they didn't fit because the tangs were opposite of each other. And I'm like, what the heck is going on, man? Lo and behold, it's a Duramax thing. This is insane. I cannot believe the odds of this. I've talked to a couple local people and my machine shop, and they said, wow, you are the luckiest person on earth. Check this out. That is my camshaft dowel pin. Like, I can nearly take that out with my finger. Anyone who knows a Duramax knows that this is a common failure. But it's not like a common failure as in every day. It's just like a, sometimes they go and sometimes they don't. That is, gee, I wonder why my truck felt like crap. This guy right here, I've already chewed on it a little bit, but it was off from this. See how that's just sticking straight up? That one's to the side. And this one was also loose before I messed with it. So that was affecting my my injector timing, and that was affecting my camshaft, my valves opening and closing. So safe to say, maybe it wasn't the tune that I had on the truck, and maybe, just maybe, my truck felt like absolute crap because the motor was that close to blowing up. If that had sheared, that pin on the camshaft had sheared, that would have been it for all my valves, and that would have hit pistons, and there's some strong components in these engines. It probably would have destroyed my block as well. If you can see right here, I had the crankshaft cut for keys. Got my keys right here. They fit perfectly. I did not cut this guy for a key. He's press fit, he's still good. I'm not touching him. And I also had the camshaft cut for a key. So my engine will actually be in time now, which is big. Both camshaft and crankshaft got hot tanked, and they are looking good, ready to go into the engine. Now for the main bearings, I got a set of clevites as well. And I ran into this situation that the tolerances were too tight. The tolerances were like 12 thou, and that's like a 3 1/8 inch journal. So I need literally like 30 thousandths worth of clearance. So that was a no-go. Sent those bearings back, and I've got a set of 0.001 standard X King bearings on the way. Alright, just so you guys can see how I'm doing this and make fun of me, you can check it out. This is my number 2 rod here, and my number 2 rod had way too tight of a clearance out of all of them. All of them averaged around, I'd say 28 thousandths, and number 2 rod had 16 thousandths. So obviously we have A and B bearings. This is a rod, and I had an A bearing in it, green bearing. So I'm putting a B bearing in it, which is the yellow bearing, and we're going to see exactly what changes and if it gets me closer to the tolerance I want. And then if it does, I'll just pick up another B bearing. Now I'm torquing it, yes, with my Amazon Basics to 47 foot-pounds. And then my mom printed out this cool little degree wheel here, and I have to show you. I literally have a snap-on torque wrench that does degrees, and it literally just doesn't work. And Snap-on won't warranty that thing because apparently it's too old or they don't make it or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I've got my 0 here, my breaker part. I do 30 one way, 30 on the other. Then I do 30 and 30 again. Perfect. Set it to 0. Alright. Now I've got this caliper, or micrometer, set to crankshaft size. Then we zero it out, or we see what the difference is. And it made literally no difference. Now it's time for me to call my machine shop and see what I can do about having this one bearing that's so tight. That really sucks. I mean, look at this. 129, 2 is 16, 3 is 24. 24 is really as tight as I want to go. 30, 31, 32, sorry, that's 31. 26 and 25. Not cool. I should have my rod bearing situation fixed tomorrow, which is awesome. And my package with the main bearings just came from King. Got a sticker finally. You can see sealed packages. So I really hope that this $145 set of bearings works, because otherwise I cannot return them because it's a sealed package. So I'm gonna install them, get the caps tightened down, these big guys, and see what our specs turn out to be. Alright, as you can see, we get the engine up over, and I cleaned this up a little bit. I gotta further clean this up. I've got the O-ring for the oil pump and the pickup tube on the way. We're gonna put this guy on. So I've got this guy, and he's gonna fit right on there, nice and snug. Now I have to tap it on. It's not a press fit, but with the with the keyway, it is a tight fit. So now my injection timing is going to be correct, which is big, and this won't be walking around or anything like that. And then I did not get it on video, but I also got the preload on my camshaft here set. So when I took this off, I didn't even realize it, but this guy was just flopping around. So it's a two-piece system. It's got a spring in there, and you're supposed to preload it, and you're supposed to keep this cam gear always tight, essentially, on in running motion. CP3 kind of defeats the purpose of needing it, but I'm still gonna keep it. it was installed incorrectly before and we got it on there now, and I also have a keyway on this gear, so my camshaft is no longer going to be retarded, which means that my literally my valves opening and closing will be at the correct timing as it's supposed to be. This is tight, that's tight, this is good to go. So we've been making some absolutely stellar progress. I am 7 pistons deep into this engine, and I've got my method down to a T. I'm going to show you me putting the last piston in. You gotta check them out, they're super pretty. They're dirty right now, but you can see these shiny boys. Look at them. They're so good. I'll have to wipe the deck back down and then I can put the head gaskets on. This is number 8. We've got a little arrow right there. Excuse my workbench being an absolute disaster. It's pretty involved building one of these engines, so cleanliness has not been super high on my priority here. I'm going to set this course cap over by the engine. I'm taking my rings, I'm putting the top ring at the top, my bottom ring gap at the bottom, and then my oil ring at the top. I'm doing this a little bit backwards. I actually forgot it had to pop one piston back out, but let's put these sur clips in for my wrist pin. Okay, we are clipped. So I'm gonna put this guy on here, about that orientation right there. I'd say about that. Oops. Probably there. This tool has genuinely made this job harder, and unless in a pinch, I don't recommend using one. Just buy the damn tool for your size bore. I did that with my LS Camaro and it was amazing. I'm dumping oil in the top of the piston. I'm also going to take some oil and put it on the side skirts. I have pre-lubricated the cylinder walls, so this should be pretty simple. Lock that guy down. You want that thing tight. I think that'd be about where I want it. Alright, follow me. Now we're at my dirty engine, so we're going to take my assembly lube, put it on the rod bearing, go, and into the bore she goes. Number 8. Thankfully the last, and it is going to have to slide in crooked or whatever. Yeah. Alright, we got everything situated here, and here goes the rod cap. Ta-da! Butter smooth. Could not ask for better than that. That is amazing. Alright, now I've got to tighten down my oil pump. I tightened all of these to 18 foot-pounds. This one goes to 74 foot-pounds. Cool thing about this setup is this is a Wagler oil pump, so it has a pin in there. It is also shimmed, and it is, as they say, upgraded. I don't know what they do to it. I trust them. They do great work. Good company, family-owned company. Highly recommend them. It's a left-hand thread, which is very strange, considering I just don't do it often, but ta-da! Alright. These are the last 2 connecting rods. I've torqued those. This one rod bolt right here is bungered. That one might not make it. They were all torqued to 47 foot-pounds, and then I've done 30 and 30 on each. So I'm going to do 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30 degrees. Got my degree chart here. So I'm going to save the best for last. I'm going to save the worst rod for for last, so. Oh, yes, it took final torque. Let's go. Ugh. Ugh. There we go. You can see that guy is no bueno, but it torqued. So now we've got a fully assembled rotating assembly. Heck yeah. Ready to go. Watch this. Pick up my snap-on. I mean, it's effortless. It's perfect. Alright, we got the front cover all sealed up. You see I've got fresh GM O-ring. That's an expensive little booger, and it doesn't really fit that well, but I tried a couple and they all fit the same, so make sure it's still in its spot. Right, that head is ready to be installed. Boom. The head is on, fresh head gasket. It is time for me to torque this guy down. You can see the other side here. Ready for the head gasket too. Or sorry, ready for the head. I gotta pull the dowel pin out of the other head. Stick it on there. Front cover is on, it's sealing up. The water pump is on. Got new seals in the water pump. That's obviously sealed up. This pipe is sealed up with new seals. This guy is all sealed up with new seals. Oil cooler. So, making huge progress here. You see my beautiful cylinder head here? We are going to put them together. Ta-da! It's perfect. Alright, so I made two mistakes. One, I broke that push rod, and the other one, when I was cleaning this hole out, I messed the threads up. So I'm going to helicoil it. Watch this. That is awesome! I was a big dummy when I put this on. And I wasn't watching close enough, and this happened. Complete user error. This is completely my fault. The other one was my fault too. But I have literally the best friends in the world, and my friend Michael at Duramax Steel Savage hooked me up. So I just finished adjusting all of the valves. Merchant Auto has this really cool chart and means of telling you how to do it essentially, which helped me tremendously. Set it to 12 thousandths and 0.012 inch. Yep. whatever that amounts to be. And you can see motor is nearly there. I've got a stick covers and fuel system on, turbo, and I'm putting it in, which is awesome. Okay, I've been making some big progress. We've got the fuel rails bolted on and connected. We've got the return lines on and kind of sorted where they're gonna go. Don't pay much attention to that guy. I put my new WC Fab Y bridge on it. It's not permanent. I have O-rings coming for it. The O-rings are cracked up. I bought this used, but that's pretty cool. Way, way better. Big upgrade over the factory LML stuff. But that's super cool. I've got all of my fuel rails, fuel lines and whatnot on, and yeah, return lines are also on. I have not got the harness on quite yet. I've got this harness run down here. I've got it connected to the oil pan bolts, and I've got to also, you know, wire that all up. I've got this line, I've got this line. I need to get a new line for here to there. I'll get that today. I've got the water pump, or sorry, thermostat assembly on, filler tube, water pump's been on, bypass pipe, fan clutch pulley assembly is on. I am wrapping this thing up. Super excited because I really miss my truck. Really need my truck back. So I've got the tools from McKendrick because I have a amazing family member. So I was able to borrow those. I'm gonna get that seal and that seal installed, and those will be good to go. Look at that installation. I mean, that's premium. I could put the balancer on. Boom, check it out. It's a perfectly installed seal. So now I can put the flex plate on, the turbo, and put the motor in. Ta-da! Motor's in. As you can see, it was a complete family ordeal. It was an absolute pain in the butt tightening up the crank pulley and the flywheel bolts. But I torqued them, you know, the 59 foot-pounds, 60 degrees on the... I don't know how those bolts hold that, but that is insane amount of torque on the flywheel. Yeah, I mean, I'm rolling. I'm gonna get the chain off and start hooking everything up. You see, I got the whole wiring harness and whatnot on the motor. I'm still waiting for the O-rings on that pipe, but you can see where it's gonna come out now, way better than crossing over and whatnot on the LMLs. So I'm gonna hook up the transmission, motor mount, wiring harness, get the front clip on and all that fun stuff. And then wait for those O-rings to come tomorrow.